Guys, welcome to another Dine at Home, week 16, little cook-along live video. This week's menu, super tasty, really delicious. So again, guys, thank you so much to absolutely every single one of you, as I do every single week, and purchasing a box, so thank you guys. First of all, I feel like last week, we're going to go straight onto the bread. So the bread this week, you've got two. So we've got the malt loaf, and also the treacle bread, should I say, and also you have your milk bread. So milk bread, and you'll have individual little treacle loaves as well. So the treacle loaves is to go with your starter. The milk bread is designed to eat before, during, after, whatever you want to do. So pop those into the oven, 180 degrees for 5 minutes, and obviously they'll heat it nice and warm. And your treacle bread will be absolutely fine to go in at the same time, because it will absorb the heat and it will stay nice and warm to enjoy with your starter as well, guys. So those two are out of the way. Obviously, as I always say, with your Marmite butter, ensure that is out at room temperature way before you start your meal, so it's nice and soft. So pop those to one side. Your starter this week is, basically a little sort of rendition of Tom Brown's some mackerel pate. This time I've sort of created a bit of a sharing sort of starter, so I would recommend if you're on your own, just have it still in the pot. But if you are obviously enjoying it with somebody else, or as a group of a group of you, we put the potato into the little pot to enjoy out of the pot. So yeah, okay, it's a little bit sort of family feasting, whatever. But yeah, we prefer it looks a lot nicer it's left in the pot, and equally the dish itself is really colourful and warrants itself to be plated separately, and obviously the mackerel pate equally separate as well. So I'm going to get straight on with the plating. I've chosen quite a sort of funky, colourful plate from, again, as you know, obviously from the guys in Birmingham, Anthony, sort of South of Heritage, absolutely every time, so they're wonderful. So with the beetroots, guys, obviously you've got one of each. You've got candied, golden and purple beetroots. So to pop those in, this is 2 portions, so it's a little bit too much of the actual beetroots, but I'll serve it. So a little bit of salt in there. Again, I would always use more than sea salt. They are very slightly pickled, so they've got a nice little flavour to them already, and equally a little bit of extra virgin olive oil as well. Pop those in, season them very nicely, mix them all around. Don't mix them too much, because the colour of the purple beetroot will start to sort of almost take over every little one. So what we'll do, keep it nice and tight on your plate. So we'll start off with, I'll start off with the blobs of smoked mayonnaise. So put this into a little piping bag or a small bottle if you have them. But you can quite easily do them manually with a spoon. So be quite, with these dishes as well, especially this dish, be quite sort of even with all the elements, because it's almost an accompaniment to the mackerel itself. So you can be quite frugal with these as well. So with the beetroot ketchup again, put those simultaneously all around the plate as well. Beautiful. So that's those two in. Then we come back to the beetroot itself. So we'll just pop those sort of in between, so it looks like a nice, almost like a mosaic of different colours. And these being pickled, they work so well with, mackerel and beetroot is delicious anyway, but they just work so well with the garnish itself. Okay, so those are in as well. I'll just use half of those. And then finally, just with your hands, just to argue, just have a little bit of texture. Just pop the almonds all in and around. Beautiful texture to the dish itself as well. Pop those. And then obviously your treacle bread will be nice and warm at this stage, so you can obviously enjoy that with it. But subsequently, that's exactly how I would eat this particular dish. So leave that in the middle, have your dish plated up, and enjoy it with the treacle bread. So you have your mackerel pate inspired by Tom Brown, with the beetroot garnish, which is salt-baked pickled beetroot, smoked mayonnaise, beetroot gel, and salted almonds, and then on the side is your treacle bread, guys. So enjoy that, and join me in a couple of minutes for the main course. Thank you very much. Okay guys, so hopefully you enjoyed the sharing starter. So on to main course. It's a beautiful piece, I'll bring it to you. It's a beautiful piece of blade of beef. We've asked the butcher to keep the fat on this time, but again you can quite easily just pull it off if you'd like to, but it's just a beautiful sort of nice contrast with fat in the meat itself. Beautiful potato, thyme and onion terrine, beautiful caramelised onion ketchup, your sauce Robert, and also your onion garnish, which is basically an onion that we've cooked in an ale stock, which is a beautiful Spanish white onion, and also a beautiful charred spring onion as well. So the actual only pan work that we're going to be doing today is simply just for the onions themselves. So I'm going to go through that in a second. I'll just pop my pan on now, and while I explain the next stage. So with your tray, I would just leave your potato and actually your beef in there. The potato is super delicate, so just be really careful that you obviously when you transfer that to the oven. So what we'll do is we'll pop out, make sure our oven's on. It's always a good stage, always a good sign. And obviously with these, just pop a little nugget of butter on top of both of them. So put a little bit on top of your beef, and equally a little bit on top of your terrine as well. They've both been seasoned, so again, you don't particularly need any more seasoning with them at all. But again, as I said, there's only a small amount of pan work on this one. So what we're going to do is do the onions in the pan, and that's it, just to caramelise that sort of presentation side, which is here. So we'll go over that. My pan's been on all of a minute, that's all. So put a little bit of oil in there. There's not much residue at all with the onions because they've been cooked in like a stock as opposed to a fat. So with those in there, just pop a little bit of salt, just table salt's fine, just on top of the onions. And then a little bit of pepper. And then roast them. So this is your presentation size, so the sort of bigger size of your presentation size. So roast those directly in. And all we're looking to do is just put a little bit of colour on that one side, that's all. Okay, we're just putting to put a little bit of colour on that one side. And what we'll do is once we have the desired colour we want, we'll, as we always do, we'll cut the power off, so there's no more heat coming into the pan. We'll put a little bit of butter in there, and we'll put our spring onion in there as well. Then we'll transfer those to the tray, and then we'll put those into the oven for about 10 minutes. We need to ensure that the beef, obviously the beef's been taken out anyway, so it's sort of starting to come to room temperature. But it's also the potato terrine is super delicate, so we just need to watch obviously how we sort of take that out as well. So we'll just transfer that all to the tray, and we'll put it straight into the oven. About 10 minutes, come to room temperature, we'll say to fully cook it and reheat it. And we're waiting to give the beef a little rest as well. So we'll concentrate on the onion for now. Again, it's on pretty much a medium to sort of high heat. We're just starting to get a little colorisation, still quite a little bit to go as you can see, guys. So we'll take a while to colour that. Quite a little bit of pressure on it. Making sure my oven's on, which it is, beautiful. All the rest of the pan getting too hot, so I'll just turn that down a little bit. Okay, cool. So now we're talking. So we're getting a little bit more of that colour on that onion now. So at this stage, it will colour quite quickly. So what I'll do is I'll turn that off. If we haven't got the finished colour yet, but we will do. The residual heat of the pan will. Once we add the butter, it will equally colour as well. So butter in, just a couple of knobs. Same with the spring onion. Pop that in just to get a little bit of heat into there. Again, put the butter in. As you can see, the heat in the pan is so hot. It's so hot simply because the flame underneath has been able to keep it nice and warm. So with that butter, turn that side down now, pop all that into there. Onions beautifully caramelised, and so is your spring onion. So very gently transport that over. Make sure you heat-proof service. Pop that onto there. Pop the spring onion on as well. We've all got a beautiful bit of heat in, and then just put a little bit of butter just on top or inside your onion as well. There we are. So transfer that to your oven, guys. This is 180 for around about 10 minutes. Now this is obviously a professional oven, so you maybe need sort of 10 to 12, maybe 15 minutes just to ensure that beef is nice and soft and your potato terrine is nice and crisp and nice and warm. So ensure that is at the level. Join me after 10 minutes to see where we're at. All we've got to do for the garnish, because the whole garnish is in there, all we've got to do is finish it off, is just heat up the beautiful sauce, and the onion ketchup is at room temperature. That's all we need to do. So super simple, guys. So meet me in 10 minutes when the beef's done. Thank you. Okay, guys. So my garnish and my beef has been in the oven for 10 minutes. So I'm going to take that out now. Obviously, because it's a slowly roasted piece of meat, so you don't need to rest it for too long, to be quite honest. So don't worry too much about resting at this stage. It will be nice to sort of rest it, but don't be too worried about that. So as you can see, guys, your beef is beautifully, it's almost been sort of seared, it looks like on the outside. When I press it, it's super soft. That's what you're looking for, that real sort of soft give there, guys, okay? The fat itself is starting to crisp up a little bit in the hot oven, as has the terrine, obviously crisped up on the sides, onions beautifully roasted, super soft, and then the scorched onion, spring onion is also nice and crisp as well. So all we've got to do is just pop the sauce for there to heat up. I've given you loads of this, and the reason why it's one of my favourite sauces, and it goes so well with beef. Don't worry if it's sort of split, it should be split actually when you actually get it. As soon as you boil it, it'll re-emulsify. That's the cream in there just coming to the top a little bit, so don't worry about that. So we'll put that on a very nice low heat. Again, just boil it, please don't reduce it. I think a lot of you sort of start to reduce it like a bisto gravy. That isn't what it's about, it's just literally just reheating, that's all you need to do. When I say boil, it doesn't need to rapidly boil, it just needs to come up to like a simmer basically. So while that's happening, we're going to plate the dish straight away, because I said all we need to do is just heat up the sauce. So very carefully, I personally would tackle your potato terrine first. Very carefully, if the tray's a bit hot, you can easily take that off as well, so we've made that nice and easy for you. But just get under that terrine as gently as you can, and then just basically just very carefully. It is quite fiddly because it's so delicate. Just very carefully. So this will obviously happen to you guys at this weekend. So what I'll do is I'll actually take this out, slide it, make it part a little bit, so take this out to here. It's just stuck a tiny bit to the grease proof, so if we get that off that side, that's better. It comes apart, don't worry, because what we can do, we can sort of almost re-plate it actually on the plate itself, as you'll see. So all those bits that are left in the tray, you still take those out because it will line up beautifully on there. There we go, it's pretty perfect, that is, to be fair. So I'll pop that in the centre of the plate. The reason being is I'll actually build the garnish in and around it on top of that. So I'll pop the onion. Very careful with the beef itself. Pop the beef on there as well. I'll finish off with just popping the onion sort of on top of it as well. And then I can hear my sauce simmering away there. Just on the back. As you can see, the mustard sort of inside there, so again I'll just mix that through nicely. Make sure your mustard's nicely sort of evenly distributed, and so you've got loads and loads and loads of sauce there, which is lovely. Okay, so onto your ketchup. So with the ketchup, this is absolutely gorgeous, this ketchup is. So again, I always say just to sort of dot it quite sort of evenly around, because you sort of want every mouthful, you want that acidity breaking into the dish itself. So pop that all over, 3 nice portions of those, and then get your sauce nicely incorporate. Your mustard, you've got absolutely loads. Always sauce that protein, heavy on that, sauce the rest. There we are. So it might be quite a similar sort of looking dish in a sense of colour, but my God, the flavour is absolutely incredible on there. So you have your beautiful potato, thyme and onion terrine with your braised blade of beef, ale cooked onion and spring onion. And finished off with your sauce for there, guys. So enjoy your main course, and we'll see you for dessert after. Okay, guys, so hopefully you enjoyed your main course. Again, the beef should be nice and soft. That was so soft and succulent, real nice amount of flavour as well. All the garnish just worked really well with it, so hopefully you enjoyed it as well, guys. So on to dessert, and one of my absolute favourites. I love this chocolate sauce, and equally I love the garnish itself. So we have a beautiful Paris Bresse, which is essentially a choux bun with some sort of caramelised almonds on top. Then we have some Manor Farm raspberries that we just basically turned into a nice little compote. Then we have a beautiful praline cream. We've treated like a creme diplomat actually, so we've actually put like an almond creme pat. Just with a little bit of extra double cream through as well. And you have the beautiful chocolate sauce. So we're going to actually pop that into the microwave straight away for about 20 seconds. And I've just got a little jug on the side there because I actually do a nice little pour. So what we're going to do with your little Paris Bresse is you just want to, nice sharp knife, serrated preferably, but this is sharp enough just to cut through. So you just want to sort of very carefully just graze right through, not putting too much pressure on top, so make sure you do sort of make the knife do all the work and basically separate the two. You can come as high as you want to. I mean, it's the base of the Paris Bresse that you need more than the top, but I've obviously been able to sort of divide it quite equally. So with your with the bottom half of your Paris Bresse, just pop that onto your plate. Just pop this out. Here's these bits have definitely seen better days, that's for sure. So with your chocolate sauce, it's super thick, guys. So with your chocolate sauce, pop that into your jug. Obviously, this is for 2 people. Give it a little stir if it needs to stir. Don't be shy about it at all in case it sticks. So into essentially Paris Bresse is your creme diplomat. Now, if you've got a piping bag or a nozzle or something, I'd definitely start to do little dots inside. They look absolutely beautiful. But listen, it's all in the eating, you know what I mean? So I just want to try and get this done as quickly as I can so I can eat it. That's what it's all about. So I'm just going to put sort of 3 equally sized, sort of almost like little quenelles, if you will, around the outside, just like that. And then this isn't a neat dessert inside because you've got a lid essentially for it, so you haven't got to worry about any of that. This is a nice little tart compote, raspberry compote, so you can put all that sort of in and around. This works lovely with the cream and equally works as lovely with the chocolate sauce as well, actually. So pop that on there as well, and then we very easily just simply pop the lid on top. So it's almost like a nice little sandwich. I'm just going to give this a quick stir. You don't want to heat the sort of heated the chocolate sauce a little bit too viciously, so the butter sort of has separated sides. So yeah, just heat it very gently, really. Probably like a half heat on your micro would be absolutely fine. There we are. Now we go. Of course, just going to give it a stir. So it's super thick. If you want to put a little bit of cream or milk in there when you heat it, it's absolutely fine. And then literally just finish off with pouring that beautiful chocolate sauce all around the top. So you get that beautiful sauce cutting right through. I know it looks a little bit sort of messy, but just it all goes down the same way, and that will taste absolutely delicious. And to be honest, I can't wait to get to the tin. So enjoy your dessert. What a dessert. Oh, so rich that is, so luxurious, beautiful end, raspberries cut through beautifully. So yeah, love this week's menu, really indulgent, probably like a little treat, date night, absolutely love it. So hopefully you do as well, guys. Just finish up with your little pieces of fudge. I'd recommend, you don't have to at all, but recommend just putting a little tiny sprinkle of sea salt on top. Just basically to emphasise the chocolate part. Again, guys, totally up to you, so enjoy it over tea or coffee at the end of your meal. So it leaves me to say thank you so much. Super happy and super pleased that you all enjoyed it, guys, so hopefully you do. And we will see you again for week 17. Next week we are away, so we've worked 16 weeks straight, so we're all going to have a well-deserved break. And again, so thank you for your support to enable us to do that. And then we are back the following week with the collaboration. So keep your eyes peeled all week next week for the collaboration. It's a pretty big one, so hopefully you guys get behind that as well and purchase boxes through there. But again, away next week and we'll be returning the week after. So it leaves me to say have a fantastic weekend. Thank you to everybody as always, and yeah, stay safe and dine at home. Thank you.